Let's work on the next task that is high priority. Cool. I don't have any credentials up. Hey there, I'm Parker Rex. I led tech for a startup that sold for 23 million bucks. After that, did Airbnb for music. It was stupid, went all in on programming. And now I show you the strategy on my way to 100K in profit a month using AI. So I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to use it. And this is a daily upload. I've just been having so much fun with Taskmaster. It's like all I can use. So I've been yapping on this channel, and it's been pretty boring lately to make these videos, to be honest, because I haven't been building that much stuff because I've been building the community and like putting all this energy into the community, and I think it's kind of rolling now. So I got back to building. So usually I go through questions and answers, I do some news, and then I do the builds, but I'm just excited about the builds. So let me just yap for a second, okay? So I talked about this a long time ago, a whole month ago, where I was going to be making a system that takes these videos, not only from the daily channel, but also the main channel, and it would turn them into a bunch of different pieces of content. So that I'd have 10 pieces of content that were long form, and then I'd have all of that go and turn into clips and turn into blog posts and turn into Medium posts and turn into Pinterest pins and turn into Instagram carousels and LinkedIn posts and boom, everywhere, but keeping it high quality. And let me tell you what I did today. It's a lot of fun. So I originally made this, and I was like, cool, you record the long form. Boom, you transcribe it. Duh. Then you export it to G Drive and use Make or N8N. Didn't do any of that. Instead, I went down the good old rabbit hole that is GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and it's been awesome. So I was thinking, okay, how can I make this so that I have it go from, let's see, from camera to South Carolina, like a computer that I rent in South Carolina from Google. How do I get this to encode the video straight onto a mounted bucket that has like a petabyte of access, which I'm never going to use that much, but the storage is super cheap. And I need it hosted there because I need this service called Aphonic that does the whisper transcription and all this stuff. Like it creates these assets to get like an HTML file with a summary and like mid form, long form, all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll just take a quick look see into GCP. And then I'm like, wait a second, I'm already in here. Let me see what this thing's capable of. And so I end up basically, let me just try to kind of draw it out. I end up basically doing it all in GCP with Cloud Functions. So what's happening now is long form gets recorded, right? This is on OBS. And I take that, and then as soon as it's done encoding and muxing, if you know what that means, that goes straight into a bucket, and I can show you what that looks like. So this is mounted to my desktop. It's called GCS Fuse. So if you ever need a lot of storage, this is 1 PB, petabyte. Crazy. This structure, because it's mounted here, when an item lands in here, I'm going to render it straight from Premiere Pro. So if you made content, that's one of them. It's going to render straight from there into raw, either daily, if it's a daily video, or raw main. And so what's cool about that is the second that that goes in there, then it's being watched and it's being listened to. And so that goes in there, and then boom, that gets kicked off to Google Cloud. And then Google Cloud, it allows you to write a little bit of code where, let's see, let's do Cloud Run with these buckets. So this bucket, you can think of this, I deleted a lot of stuff today. You can think of the bucket as just a fancy G drive, but it's connected to a bunch of other stuff. So now when I boot my computer, that petabyte of data is there for me to just throw stuff in. Really cool. So I have buckets, right? So buckets a lot. And then what I do is I have this thing called Cloud Run. And Cloud Run has a function in it. And this function is listening for when stuff gets into it. So you see I haven't like run it that many times because I know that part works. But it's listening. As soon as it gets that, it determines, is this a daily video or is this a main video? And then it'll just shoot it off to Aphonic. And then Aphonic does its thing, and you can see it's doing its thing now on this video that's about to go out. And what you get is a couple different things. You get an MP4 file, you get a audio only file. So this big boy, the 12 gig one, that is the video, obviously. And then you have this MP4, which is just audio. Then you have this HTML. So let's grab that. And this API that it has is actually like pretty dope. So let's grab this HTML. In this HTML, you have the show notes. So the little chapter markers. You also have how it's like this one-liner about the thing, right? So this is the transcript, the long summary, the chapters, the brief summary, full transcript. And then if I went, yeah, that just like brings me up and down. So that's one of the assets. And okay, cool, dude. You could have done that by drag and dropping. Yeah. But I'm thinking in terms of extensibility, it's kind of endless. Like, let's see if I can find the tab. But basically in here, this is just one little blob of code. And I didn't write any of it. I had Grok write it. And I worked on Grok for like 2 hours. Got it to do this, and then the mounting, and then now the uploading to YouTube based on which channel it is. And that'll include all the data around what I want to go, like to YouTube. So that's pretty cool. And I'm excited about it because it doesn't, like, I don't really need to use any tools. Like, I can just use the stuff in here. So adding in ability to manage my YouTube count, manage my YouTube videos, pretty helpful. And then, yeah, it's just listening. So then the next one, like that just deals with kind of the admin work around it. But the next thing that I'm going to build is actually the thumbnail generation of it. So like that's one that's missing. How could you get really good thumbnails created? And then after that, it comes into like new idea generation. So having it to be able to pass in the people that make content that I like and go read it, see what's doing well, see what's not doing well, see what's out there, see what's trending, see what people are saying in the comments, store that maybe somewhere, but I doubt it. And then you kind of have a flow where, okay, well, here's, this guy, AI Jason, someone mentioned him in one of my videos. I looked at his stuff and I had seen him a long time ago. He makes just cursor videos and they're great. But if I see one that he's doing, I'll bet that there's something that I know that he doesn't. So then I can say, okay, cool. This is one that's working. So it's validated. So if I don't have a video idea, then that's going to go into a sheet. And then I can decide, do I want to move forward with this? And if I want to move forward with this, then I can tag it. I say, this is a coding video because I make coding and I make marketing automation videos or AI agentic workflow videos. So then it's going to go from the idea down to the idea plus up. So if it is based on someone else's thing, I mean, that's what a lot of YouTuber content creators do is like this like research, right? So I would have it go and actually scrape through the comments. And kind of the beauty of, again, doing it on GCP is I can do it 10,000 times a day. And I don't have to worry about what it costs because it's like 0.00000. Like I could do it 10,000 times a day for really any operation. And it's just because you don't have issues with pricing, you might as well just blast it. Like it's crazy. You could also do sentiment analysis. So this is something I'm doing in our school, which will soon be on iVibeWithAI.com. But like mining the information and the sentiment out of what people are saying and then getting the questions, open loops, suggestions, pulling that in. And then the third one is the perplexity plus up. This actually probably wouldn't be perplexity, but some search thing that like takes the sentiment analysis, takes the areas that the comments have, takes the YouTube transcript, and then pluses it up. I think that's pretty cool. But where the real sauce will come in, I think, is actually taking it and then doing like the deep research. So again, I put AI Jason's thing in here because I don't know anyone else that makes cursor content. It's kind of crazy. But then it's stage. So it's like, cool, it's plussed up. And the sentiment, let's say they're sad or happy, whatever. And then you have this block of the additional context. Then I want to take all that and say, okay, well, what are use cases for marketers? What are use cases for coders? Well, here's all this stuff. Find 3 practical high value use cases based on, you know, all this context. So I think this is going to be pretty cool. And I didn't really even intend on doing it in Google Cloud Platform, but then I started doing the research and being like, what does it unlock if I do it this way? If I spend a couple hours figuring out how to do it, well, it unlocks pricing power. It unlocks me learning new stuff because I frankly don't like clicking around in the drag and drop stuff. And yeah, it just aligns with what I like doing. So I'm getting better at using the tools that I like. So pretty cool. And of course, there's just like infinite stuff in here. I feel like a lot of people downplay it, where GCP is kind of badass. Like if I go in and let's say I want to make a, I don't know, let's take a prompt. Let's make a thin wrapper. So if I went into Vertex AI and I deleted a bunch of projects today, so I probably have to re-enable this. But you have the model garden. I think you get $300 if you sign up with a new account. That's pretty cool. And more accurate weather forecasting. What? But you have all the models in here. Everyone knows that 2.5 Pro is the GOAT. But I could go in, and if I wanted to make a new one, I just say create prompt. And yes, because it's a brand new account, I need to enable. You can see it's now spinning up this resource. But then I can just change the model over here. I could see flash preview. I could see 2.5 Pro X 325. So I would probably click on this one. And then I can select if I want a structured output, which is really cool. So it's like if I'm entering in something and I don't know, let's say I want to take the comments, scrape the comments, hit an endpoint that's hosting 2.5, return it as this. Return it as like, was it good, bad, 1 through 10? How do the people feel? What was an outlier comment? I can put all this stuff in here. That's what a structured output is. And then that way, when I spin this up as an instance or something that I can hit from one of my serverless functions, which is what Cloud Run is. Cloud Run's basically Vercel, if you think about it. And so anyways, I could just put a prompt in here and I would say, hey, like we're doing sentiment analysis on this. Here's a bunch of comments. Go figure it out. I'd say, hey, you're an expert at sentiment analysis, and I'm going to pass you a JSON blob of all these things, and you're going to go and you're going to figure out what's going on in there. And honestly, there's probably an example of this. I wouldn't even have to write this, but I'm just thinking. And there's probably better algorithms, but that was the use case because I wanted to tie it to something I previously spoke about in the video. But it's just bananas because then you can do this, and then if you wanted to, like let's say you had just this like thing, this like one prompt. Well, you just hit this and you could deploy it as an app. Like that's kind of nuts. And I've said that before, but I just haven't spent that much time in the like other areas of GCP. You know, a lot of like the DevOps guys are like, "Oh, cool, dude, you just figured this out." Yeah, I had never really used it. Kind of crazy. Imogen, I can make a song. So, yeah, I'm excited because I want to just kind of map out. Like that's nuts. I want to kind of map out all the different things that are going to happen, and it just has to do with where the content's going to go, and then because like I just want it all in one spot. Because when it comes to the content stuff, that's one thing. And then it's like, okay, I want to build these agentic workflows that can go and answer questions that I know answers to with my YouTube account on other people's accounts. Oh, I want to go and create the YouTube transcript chapter markers on someone's account using my account. If I can do that, you know, if I have 10,000 times a day that I can max out on for the YouTube API, that's a lot of chances, even if I split that across like a lot of different things. There's just a lot. And again, you wouldn't be able to do that had you not done it in here. Whoa, now I'm talking. What's going on? I need to get out of here. Prompt gallery. Now I'm just like a salesperson for Google, but it's hard to ignore. It's really hard to ignore. And after a couple hours, just getting used to the other features, just like little things like, I don't know, we're all used to env files, but now you need to have like a separate secret manager for your like refresh tokens. and some little things like that that I just didn't know how they work, but very, very cool. And what I'm looking to learn in here actually is how you map things out. So you always see like DevOps guys and they have like the icons of the different things. And I think that's actually where I started with this. If I go to Grok, I started with Grok and then I moved into using Cursor. But it was like if I went back in time to 5 hours ago and I scrolled all the way to the top, let's just take a look. Yeah, I'm building this out. How would I do it? How would I get a Google Cloud Storage bucket mounted to my Finder window on Mac, right? And so I go and I do that. I get this cask fuse thing. I use Go to install it. Now I have that. Then after that, I need to set something up so that it's tied in. So whenever my computer restarts, it automatically gets in there. And then I need to figure out how to give my CLI full access to the GCP cloud without it ever having to do anything else. And then that turns into, okay, cool, I got that done. It's like, how do I make this thing better? How do I make it so that it can do a bunch of automations for me? So then that's what this one was, I think. Yeah. This is when I actually got into the Python and using the artifacts, and it's very, very cool. Where I think it's going to be crazy. Like, yeah, endless possibilities. That's enough about that. What happened beyond that? I mean, I've just been in a hole working on this to be totally honest. Let's see what people are asking on the YouTube channel. We'll do that real quick if you are still watching. Um, looks like my video is still not live. Shucks. I made one last night, but it seemed like I don't know, I was filmed on potato. Like I just did a video kind of haphazardly, and that's okay for the daily channel, but yeah. Let's see. What's the OCR thing that you use? Would appreciate access to the treasure chest. Yeah, I give all these things away, and then I'm hoping to launch iVibe with AI tomorrow. I've had my hands full. Like the community's popping off. I really dislike the offer. I think the offer's awesome, but I dislike the platform. So I rolled my own, and that'll be really helpful for everybody because it'll contextualize everyone's stuff that they want to learn. A lot of the people in here have actually joined this community, which is cool. Um, great video. Cool. What about the daily channel? We're about to hit 700 subs. That's pretty cool. 300 views. I didn't even talk about anything in there. What do they say? Community. Keep them coming. I think what you're looking for is WAP. No. Regarding Grok adding workspaces, I'm very tired of manually version controlling the various files I have in workspaces, blah, 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 blah. I'm of half of mine to just do everything in Cursor because I can switch models without losing context there, or maybe just start using one of the wrappers. Yeah, I don't use coding. Yeah, I don't code in any of the LLMs like in their browser. Like today with Grok was really the first time, and a lot of it had to do with me not even meaning to. Like you saw, I was just like, hey, I want to start with this one little thing of just mounting this. And then it was like, whoa, guess what? If I just kept going a little further, I could just unlock this whole thing. But then it got to a breaking point where I was running around doing a one debug thing. And at that point, it's like, get me out of here. Like artifacts are not meant for anything beyond exploration and prototyping, but it's great at that, right? Like it's exploration at the end of the day. Like I wouldn't have done any of this stuff if I didn't start with this flow. So yeah, that's I just immediately am trying to get like out of there. Like even if I open this up, right? It's like, okay, I don't ever want to click this thing. I did hear the founder of Vercel, who's a great dude, but he's like, yeah, like one of these companies had 127 versions in their V0. And I'm like, that sucks. That doesn't sound fun. That sounds, I mean, good for them, I guess. Don't listen to the haters. Yeah, never listen to the haters, dog. Looking forward to both your channels to run quickly. Thank you, sir. I get out of browser and into cursor ASAP. Yap about this in vid going up in a sec. Yeah. What else? I think everyone just wants stuff, and I feel bad because I ended up building a product to host all of it. But yeah, that's it. That's the session for today. That's all I got. I appreciate you guys watching, and honestly, these videos are going to get a lot better as soon as I have these systems in place. Like even like the pulling in of the news, because when I was doing these videos at first, I didn't have the second channel and I didn't have the community starting to pop. And so doing that on top of the builds, like, it's just been a lot. So I have kind of backburnered this, knowing that I'm going to automate a lot of it when it comes to the admin work around it. And then the research as well, where it's like, cool. On the news side, I typically have like 5 or 6 resources. They're literally just Twitter lists. And I just go through Twitter. And it's like boom, 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 boom. So if I have a lot of news, it means I was on Twitter way too long. It's basically it. And so I'm trying to make something that can pull all that out. Like actually, before I end it, I made a, what did I make? I tried making something in here. This is our Discord, by the way. What's it called? Big AI news. Yeah, I tried making something that would automate this, and it's just like, okay, like, no, it's not sick. So then I'm thinking like, it's just got to be cool, and I don't want it to be totally automated. So if I can feed it a feed of the stuff that I'm looking at already, and just say, here's the feeds that I check, give me like the best 5, that'll probably work. But for now, I'm going to keep building on the automation side so that the videos get better. I'm going to build on iVibe with AI because it's really close and it's going to provide better member experience. It's going to provide all the freebies with free updates. So that's kind of the why. It's like, cool, I can get some emails out of it, but also like it's fair trade because they get a free update because the things change all the time. And they don't even have to get the email. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to onboard all the members onto the new thing when I do complete it, because we can take all the, I don't know, when you're in a closed ecosystem, you can't like leverage all this AI stuff. So it'd be incredibly ironic if you had an AI community trying to provide AI educational material. You're not using AI. Like what? And it, low key, I asked the team at the, I don't want to badmouth them. Forget it. It's all good. I'm just going to keep building stuff. All right. See ya.